Okay. Um, you know, I'm so thankful to God because I get to see things for what they are. The theatrics that I experience and see people, all sort of people that I don't even know, that I don't even care about, acting a certain way. You see these pictures here. Some employers that I'm blurring. There's co-workers, not employers. My co-workers, we both have the same employers, but I was employed by people who were supposed to make me accept this like false reality. It's very pathetic. It's so sad. It's so sad. So some of these people are going through certain things that perhaps shouldn't be dedicating their time in this kind of negative environment they're in. But I understand that this is more of an escapism of what they're going through. And I've known that before, that people sometimes escape through whatever we go through as dark individual. It's like a game to them that they can live away reality. But reality is not something you can turn on and turn off. Reality is reality. You will have to deal with reality. At this point, the validation that my brain is being manipulated is just surreal. It's just surreal. It's surreal. But they call it their reality. And their reality is consisting of distorted reality. Matter of fact, the one of these people here said something supposed to make me think of how they would try to make me perceive this person in my memories. If you go through my videos, you'll see somebody about hijab. There was this woman, definitely grown woman, a mother of some sort, in her 30s or so, in the laundromat. She was wearing a hijab, like those head-to-toe hijab like outfits, right? But you can see that she's a grown woman, an adult woman, maybe my age or a little bit older than me. Now, my brain has been this thing that they can play with, right? And I'm saying this woman tried to really make me accept this. I'm like, really? You think I'm going to stand here and just not see things for what they are? Try to make me imagine this person who's my age, even older than me, perhaps. Try to make me think They live off a false reality. The same person that's going through certain things that perhaps she should focus her energy toward. They truly want to be they want me to. And as they try to do this, there's this person through these pictures who just start walking away. Like I care about his opinion. Like like he just discovered something. I'm like, oh my gosh, such a clown. Some of the people who try to gaslight you are people that you don't even care about. It's like, you do, my friend, don't even waste your energy. I know you want me to perceive things in certain ways. I know you want me to accept this manipulation. They walk, the theatrics that I observe, it is comical. Target individual, one thing is for sure, these people are all theater. They are theatrical. It's the purpose of trying to gaslight you. They've been humiliated the reality of what they're part of. The reality is they are rewiring your brain. They are manipulating you. They are creating reaction that you naturally would not experience naturally. But this persona they've painted you as, especially in my case, because there's some childlike trash, actually kids here, who are planning to frame me. Or they are planning to use these kids to frame me, I should say. They're being guided. Matter of fact, these people you see here, thank these people, which is so disgusting. It's so sad. Because it's not their kids that they're guiding to frame. It's other people's kids. So they are thanking these people. Thank you for having your child frame this man. It's not their kids. None of them here have their kids doing that. I think none of them here even have kids. So they thank these people thank you for ruining your child's life so we can enjoy what's going to happen to this man. And hope that these people get lost in the torture this guy, me, I'm going to go through, as if it's going to change what's happening or what's going to happen to them. It's like they have distanced themselves from the sense of reality. And, some of these people here are opportunists. If they're willing to sell their kids in this fashion, to try to benefit whatever they get out of it, they're compromised. And today, they're even using these false memories, false reality, as a way to comfort themselves. Something they know is falsified. Matter of fact, they designed this as something to be falsifying. It's so sad, right? I know that it doesn't end there. Whatever else they can try to manipulate to change, and then try to make themselves believe, oh, okay. It's like, wow, you are living off air. You are living off like nothing. They're painting this own fantasy. Some of this very obvious, like this example, this woman, this grown-ass woman, that they try to make me imagine her as an underage person. Like this, like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, not even, what I mean, like, this person is in her 30s. Somebody who's like in her 30s to try to make me imagine her to be underage. Because she looks somewhat youngish, but like, you know, like younger is in a young 30-some. And because my imaginations, my thoughts, my memories can be all altered, they can try to make me imagine that in that way. And you know, one way they try to make me feel doubtful. There was somebody here from afar. I thought it was like for sure like an adult. Then I saw her close, and I saw her smile. I was like, ooh. From that point, I was like, I don't know. You kind of look weird. I was like, oh, but you see, when you saw her from far, you thought it was this. But when you saw her close talking, it's like, ugh. I said, you see? So how you know this? Like, and they try to use these things to try to use you, to try to use these ways to try to make you feel doubtful about everything else. You see? So this grown woman who's literally doing laundry for her, it looked like she had a whole family laundry to take care of. Grown-ass woman. I'm talking about 30 years old. 30 plus. And at the time, I'm about the same age. So my age or even older. To try to use that, but my point is they're gonna do that all the time. With time, it's gonna be even worse, because I think for them to use this is because my brain is that capable of being manipulated. That's a woman in her 30s now. My brain can manipulate to be thinking she's like a kid, a grown ass woman. It's still. I wonder if this woman is watching this. Like, my gosh. I have kids who are probably the same age of this kid. It's crazy. But this perps like that who are supposed to gaslight you into accepting this manipulation. The one part that I detest, some of these people here have used kids. Like, I will always bring that up. There's a perp here who you can see, and when I interviewed, she had a child there, not hers, but somebody's related to her, a baby. And they forced me to get this reaction they can force people to have. Today she kind of feels stupid because the validation that they can, this technology, this EEG heterodyning, EEG cloning, can make you experience reactions that are designed for you to experience. So not only they can not only they can monitor your neural network, they can manipulate this EEG, this neural network, and implant it back in your brain. And what kind of reaction they make you have? Sexual reaction toward children, and then try to vilify you for that. They manipulate you to have you this reaction, and then they're supposed to be like, "Oh my God, we just caught this. You were remapped. We're matched." In every fucking ways possible. Now listen, for me, I'm provoking them, as you see in the last video. It's provocation for me to bring reality. What provokes them is the fact that you see things for what they are, not the way they want you to see things, which is the manipulative version, where you get reaction that they can design you to experience, then try to vilify you. They manipulate your memories in all fashions. Today is this person, tomorrow is somebody else. They're going to try to create this story. It's like, no. And it's going to get only worse. Just like your health is going to get worse, your thoughts are going to be more manipulated than ever. You know how bad it got? I've talked about this fungal issue that I'm having because of the lack of hygienic focus I'm having right now. Because what's happening is when I do something, when I'm trying to clean myself, maintain this hygienic maintenance of myself, what they do is to start making me think of children. And then sometimes what they do is like, no, we're making you think, we're reminding you what you did as a kid. Like, what? Can you imagine somebody in their 30s and something like that is trying to be like, no, we're making you think of you as a kid. Oh, no. It's like, no, I'm a grown adult person. that you're making me think about kids, but you're doing that so you can connect these things together, to train and condition my brain to think about kids when I'm taking care of myself, when there's any contact with myself in that nature. To train the brain to think about kids, they're literally rewiring me in this fashion. They are rewiring me to have this reaction to children. It's not only that they do that to just disorient you, they do that to literally change you to think about kids in this fashion. It is disturbing. They are literally rewiring your thinking system, your thought process, in these ways. Now, I know this is a tactic they've used on others, and these perps are just perps. This is just the system they've used to break people down. And you're gonna hear that this is not unique to me. But I was like, try to show how illogical it is. It's like, I've talked about how I'm not able to wash myself the same way before even getting this issue that I'm having today. Which in the past, because of the circumstances I'm in, I need to take care of certain part of my body very carefully. I've been ignoring it because I don't want to deal with these nasty manipulations. That was before, and then now I found out that maybe I should be now I have to take care of it even more than before to clean up the fact that I did not maintain myself as well as I should have. So what's happening? Now I have to be more focused on it. Now I have this thing that I got, this thing to supposed to take care of myself. As I'm thinking about, okay, I need to apply this thing, they're making me think of the child of this trash here, or the child this person I was here with. She brought her child not her child, but somebody's child in her family while I was interviewing her. And now when I'm trying to apply this lotion or apply this specific cream, try to make me think of this kid. Rewiring me in this fashion. Now, you're going to hear that the thought process manipulation, the thought process is rewired, is commonly used to break us down. We're just test subjects. We're guinea pigs. They are checking what tactics, what disruptive manipulations are the most efficient. It's more of like a weapon device, a weapon development than anything. It's like a cognitive warfare of some sort where we're just test subject to. And then they're like, oh no, but you. And then they go into to the exaggerated version of me as a kid. It's like, no, you wash your hands. You're exaggerating, creating storylines, and leaving off the storylines they created. They are creating their own stories and going with it. Oh, you wash it's like trash, you're low life trash. And on top of that, these people, unfortunately, are involved in a program where children are also utilized as test subjects, meaning they are doing these things to us adults, applying that to children too, even infants. They are harming kids for the purpose of developing this technology. Some of these guinea pigs for these cognitive weapons and others, they're using children as these test subjects. So a whole family. Matter of fact, if I have children and I was leaving my children, forget about the psychological manipulation. They would torture my children to create a psychological reaction that is negative. Whatever is needed to see what tactics works, they will do that. And you have perps that are enjoying these things because I understand the intoxicating feeling is finally this control on something. There's perhaps, for example, there's a perp here. This person is going through things. The control of what's going to happen to her is non-existent. She doesn't know what's going to happen to her. She can just pray for the best, hope for the best, and go through this journey she's going to go through. But for me, everything has been orchestrated to the T. So imagine you are going through whatever issues you're going through. And this is not a fun time. And you want to have a grasp of some kind of control. You're going to immerse yourself in what you can control, or what you think you can control, or at least participate in something that's very controlled. And so you're going to get lost in this nastiness. And so you see somebody who shouldn't be dealing with this, who should actually distance herself and try to like, okay, let me get some good juice, some good karma on my side. Because no matter how this guy's going to scream, and I'm talking about me, I'm not going to get any better. This is not what's going to make me feel better. I'm not going to get healthier by it. This is not going to make me any healthier. This is not going to make me any better. It's not going to change anything of my journey. All it is to me at this point is more of entertainment than anything. So for me, I'm like, okay. Even now, you're still trying to paint these storylines. Even now, you're just trying to bring these good blessings. I mean, what points the warnings are going to be too much for you? You can do all this noise campaign. I will never identify with this manipulation. Matter of fact, I make these videos to ensure that if you ever think that I've identified with this falsification of reality, with this falsified memories, I will make sure that I speak it out loud. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but I will make sure for you to know that, trust me, I'm not identifying with this manipulation, the falsified, a whole grown-ass woman. Because my brain is this manipulated. And you use this trash here, selling their own kids, and try to hype them up because you want to enjoy yourself watching this horrible thing that I'm going to go through. Even willing to let these people sacrifice their own kids. Listen, target individual. Stay strong and listen to the things these people have to block out. I will always show the faces of some of these perps because they come in all shape, all form to try to gaslight you into accepting your false reality.
With the human nervous system, in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG, and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions, or bodily functions for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.
And so this gets into what's called there are four different techniques. There are four different techniques and technologies that can pipe voices into an individual's head. And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. And they used it, I believe, in the Gulf War to tell the enemy at that time, lay down your guns, this is Allah. And it worked pretty well because hearing voices which have no direction or sound, you have to assume that it's some spiritual entity. So it works pretty well. And then, I don't know if I'm going to get into this, but there's something called hyper game theory. How do you, they want to see if they can manipulate people to do things that are irrational, but also walk them to their death. And so you can call it a eugenics program even. And they need to sample all cultures, language throughout the world to define their probability matrices of which tricks, techniques, deception works. So how do you control a brain? Most people don't believe that. Oh, you can't control me. I have my own free will. There's no way you can get to my soul. Well, sorry, that's not true.
What is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my
breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing.
In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior. The project reportedly ended in 1969, but DARPA's investigation of how machines can affect and possibly control the brain continues to this day. Human mind can be altered. In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora.
My name is Dr. John Hall. I'm a medical doctor from Texas. As I understand the memorandum from the president, it's for you to determine if current legislation is adequate in protecting individuals and if there's any ongoing experimentation. In reviewing the common rule, it's very obvious that there's a lot of loopholes to informed consent. All of the horrific experiments you've mentioned, Willowbrook, MK Ultra, radiation experiments, mostly were done without informed consent. They were funded by the DoD and intelligence agencies, where I'm not even so sure you would know if there's an IRB, much less if an IRB is looking at informed consent. As a physician, relative to some of what you're hearing today, in the community, we are seeing an alarming rate of complaints of use of electromagnetic weapons, microwave auditory effects, silent sound spectrum, EEG cloning, which has taken the lab out of the laboratory and into the home. Most of these, from the research that we reviewed, can be done remotely. It seems to be more weapons research than medical research. I personally corresponded with upwards of 1,500 victims, all complaining of identical complaints from every state in the nation of being exposed to electromagnetic radiation. Non-ionizing radiation for the use of cognitive control or behavior control. I've submitted a paper to you, and there's another paper submitted to each member from another physician in Kansas City, alluding to the same thing.
My mind, I can hear my own voice. I told them I'm going to make you pay for all of the years of torture that I've taken, and slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ASS, so just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals.
Currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom and was not able to verbalize anything more due to his language delay. He looked puzzled and bewildered. Even though I had stated that it was time to do more work right before this incident, I quickly just let him play another game, and he quickly returned to his joyful, happy self again.
Ms. Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan. And please give us a congressional hearing. Thank you.
And have had a decent education. I live in El Dorado Hills, California, with my wife of 14 years, Lorna, and our 5 children. Nicole is 15, Patricia 14, Christopher 13, Dylan 9, and Avery 16 months old. Not only have I been going through this, but my entire family has suffered right by my side. We have all experienced the same type of harassment on different levels. We have all suffered the same symptoms while this harassment was going on. Some of our physical symptoms include severe tooth decay and vision loss, unexplained rashes and burns, severe headaches, mood swings, anxiety, thyroid problems, high blood pressure, heart problems, vision loss, and cancer. Two of my children were born premature, which I attribute to this. Our son Dylan, now age 9, was born very premature. He was born at 31 weeks. During her pregnancy with Dylan, we were being targeted more so than other times. At the delivery, there were weird men walking and waiting around the hospital. Right outside our delivery room window, there was a white cargo van parked with 2 suspicious men inside. They were there the entire labor, a delivery. Our son had to be transported to another hospital 45 minutes away. When arriving to the Toa hospital, those same men and van were present. Three of my children have severe rashes that have not been explained by several doctors. These rashes have been present for several years at a time. If interested, I will gladly furnish you with detailed photos of the rashes. Our infant daughter, at 3 weeks old, was diagnosed with Lerner syndrome. This was after a severe rash appeared on her body after a few days of torture. We were told by a couple doctors to take her home and love her and spend the rest of the time we have with her. They told us she would ultimately die from this syndrome. Thank God that Lerner syndrome was not what affected our daughter. Doctors are still dumbfounded by her rash and symptoms. Sadly, we know that her symptoms were effects from the torture this poor innocent 3-week-old baby endured. Recently, I lost complete time. I exhibited the flashing lights. My 9-year-old son Dylan complained about the lights. You will often hear that vision is something that is greatly affected with this type of torture.
So you hear the testimony of,
and I am a victim of organized stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, V2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture. And I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
And I'm a victim of organized
We need this to stop.
electronic harassment. And I'm speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the U.S., in Illinois, and I'm a victim of organized
We need this to stop.
electronic harassment, microwave torture.
I've been targeted for 9 years.
24/7.
Please become more aware of this crime and those that the crime is being committed against. We need your support and help in ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an American citizen, and the targeting continues in New Zealand. I'm making this video in remembrance of Targeted Individual Day, our 3rd annual Targeted Individual Day. And I'm asking that every honest-hearted human being open their eyes to a crime.
My name is Jeanette. I am 56 years old and I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I am a victim of covert electronic harassment and torture. I am a targeted individual.
Wishes to hand down.
Why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. It's brutally painful. I have a house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1st floor, 2nd floor, 2 garage, backyard, land, everything. Can't live in my house. My neighbors are shooting direct energy weapons through my house. I hold my heart like this. You know why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. Come get me. Oh, Lord, because I think I'm dying. I'm making this video
in an attempt to expose this horrific nightmare.
Hello, I'm making this video to honor the 3rd annual Targeted Individual Day. That's August 29th, 2020. My name is Linda Marie Sharp in Mendocino County, California, United States. I am a targeted person and have been for over 12 years. I am electronically tortured by directed energy weapons.
Hi, my name is Lisa Davis and I'm in Duluth, Minnesota. I am a targeted individual.
I just want to say that when you listen to this, I know that things are terrible with me, but right now, this perps really trying to live a life where they disorient themselves, not even just me, to block out the reality of what they are. They would literally try to make me imagine this memory, this false memory of this woman who's clearly a grown woman in her 30s, to try to make me imagine her as a child. And I'm like, I could be living, I know I'm dying. I can feel myself fading away. But I could be living life like this, people. And honestly, I know that they of course, they don't want to be trading places with me, which makes sense. I'm dying. But me, the dying man, will never want to trade place with somebody who's living like that. It's so pathetic. And you hear them via V2K interacting in ways. And I'm like, you are living life to sound like a child. And it's such a failure in regard of trying to make me accept these things. Because the truth is, this is how compromised you are in life now. These things do not fade away. Target individual. These people will live life playing a game. Being clowns for living. But it's not free. I know that things for me is happening where I'm slowly fading away. I can feel my brain just slowly just shifting away. I can feel my health slowly fading away. But I feel there's a level of dignity, because when I hear these perps literally try to make me think of like a grown woman who's even older than me, to try to make me mature, I'm like, please live this life. Live this embarrassing life. And I know that they can do whatever they want in my brain. They can make me imagine whatever they want. Whatever they want, they can make me imagine. And there's no shame in these people. Which is embarrassing, because you still have life to live. So please continue. And I know there's some target individual, they are definitely better people than me. This woman said, I'll pray for these perps that they get tired of doing what I'm like, no, live this life. Watch me being a prophet. Watch me. In my sufferings, I can guarantee you that things are not going to end up well. There's no way somebody living this kind of way have a good life. I can reassure you, target individual, nobody lives the life they live and live a good life. There is no way. They just know that today is not the day. Today they can enjoy, watch us go crazy, lose our mind, break us down. But they know that the day will have to come where they reimburse for being such godly human beings. And for me, they know if we see each other in person, keep this character away from me. Keep that character remotely. Because you have to be a child for a reason. For this grown man, grown woman, to try to play this game over there, I'm going to humiliate you. I'm going to humiliate you. Do you know the way they try to distract me? Listen, currently I'm employed by these people. Or I'm employed with the same people these people are employed. The work is used now to kind of disorient me and confuse me. But I have to understand, work for me is used to break me down. Yes, I want to be able to be a functional human being working, making money, to live a life. But the truth is, I've accepted that death is not something too far from me because of what's happening to my body. So I have to also prioritize these things that I'm making, these videos, because I do think that this is where these people will be properly blessed. They're just bottom feeders. They wanted to do these things 24/7, living a life of a fantasy, manipulated. And these things is done remotely, so a child can do what they do. But I think they've noticed at this point that, hey, if we can play the clowns, he's not going to go with it. There's one at the bottom, there was some random shoes. There's somebody with her. They start walking out the room when they try to make me imagine this version of reality. I'm like, this clown is. But you just heard this. I mean, I didn't even go to the point where I bring up the mass shootings, which, unfortunately, some people have lost their mind to the point of causing mass shootings. And I can understand why they would be driven to that point. Because let's just say that you are somebody who, or by nature already a little bit aggressive. You're in the army, or you've been trained to be a killer because you've been in your army for most of your life. You have guns, and you see these people, as people who are trying to break you, who are involved in something that is destroying you and pushing you to insanity. If somebody is aggressive in the first place, or have this like training that of you know how to use a weapon, and you're just basically making sure that this man causes a mass shooting, and this is what has happened before. I'm not gonna bring this mass shooters because it's been, I brought that up. I just wanted to just give you a snippet of reality. These people who are forcing you to experience this nasty manipulation work for these governmental entities that use human subject, even babies. You just heard a 3-week-old baby. You have people, human clowns. I mean, these people are here and you're seeing are not as childish as some of these people you can see in my environment, or who are 24. Some of them are pure human trash. It's almost embarrassing. Now, with that being said, if somebody said something here, said something about I'm going to be shanked a lot, it's like, okay. Basically, they're saying that when they thank these childlike people, thanking them, the actual children, who are going to be used to frame me. Basically, they're going to say they're going to guide these kids to say, hey, say that this guy did something to you. Right? These are actual kids. They're not, they're actual children. Which the future of this low life is going to be horrible. They're being groomed for this nastiness. So these people are thanking them. Thank you for having your child do that. Such an admirable child. Then once we frame this person like that, he's going to be shanked. Many times. And one guy said that. I'm like, I'd rather get shanked. First of all, this clown, this baby, this trash, who are actually kids, they're doomed. They're done. There's no way you're going to grow up to be a normal human being. You heard what they're part of. You heard that they can't even make themselves believe they're some kind of heroes. Like, listen to the horrible things they're part of. We're talking about kids being tortured. Whatever horror I'm going to go through is not going to stop the fact that a child is being guided to do these things, to say these things. And the truth is, I don't want them to not do it. Because I'm truly, I gotta say, I don't want them to live a good life. I don't. I want them to live this dirty, nasty life that they live. I don't. Target individuals, we are dignified. I know I should be a better person and say, hey man, these kids have a bright future. No, let this trash be like that. Let them have that bright future here, like doing that. I know what I'm saying to them. It's like, oh yeah, so I feel so bad. I was like, okay, yeah. What do you think happens to children who at that age are being groomed to work in situations where they are guided to frame a person, saying that this person raped them or something, just to frame them? I guarantee you, all of this purpose, they better invest in some good psychiatrists. And I'm glad that they're gonna sell the kids like that, so that all the blessing can come in abundance. As I go through these horrible things, I ask God to give me strength. I rather get shanked a lot. The truth is, I was close to killing myself. But thank God for all the testimonials that put things in perspective, that give me strength to not do anything to myself. Now, this horror that I'm going to go through, I don't want to go through it. But there's dignity in this. And so I'm okay going through it. Even if I don't have any choice, this dignity in this horror. It makes death be such a dignified thing. While this low life gonna die, however they're gonna die. Having to live this pathetic life. I know they try to dismiss everything I say, but it's so awkward because certain things are happening the way I've said it. Is it because I'm a magical being? Of course I'm not. I'm just saying the obvious. You dedicate your time doing these foul things, please believe something's coming. These people are thanking these neighbors or whoever is around me who's claiming that they're gonna frame me. Thanking them. They're not thanking them because, oh, what you're doing is so hard. Thank you for compromising your own child. Thank you for doing these dirty, nasty things that we don't want to do, but we would like to watch this. Thank you for that. You're such a brave, wink, wink. You're such a brave being. You're such a honorable, admirable human being for doing that. You're gonna have a great life. It's such a dare. No, target individual. The suffering you go through is not free. And I'm telling you, some of these perps are really already not even living a good life. I mean, some of them I'm like, well, Jesus. I know you're going through issues. Some of them are antidepressant. Others, like, it's just people who are already on a level of issues. Some of them are sick. Some of them already got diseases. Some of them have cancers. Some of them have... So you're already in this situation. Before I even got to that point of this horror that I'm going through a different type of horror, but I'm expecting worse than that. I expect completely my brain destroyed. This is why I make so many videos. And some of these people are already dealing with some situation. Before I go through the extreme level of horror. Now, can you imagine after this? Target individual, stay strong. I speak in these ways because I understand the reality of things. I'm not sad. I'm just thankful that I got to see things for what they are before it's too late.